Hey loves, it's your relationship coach, Janelle, and welcome to another episode of Response and React. Draya Michele sparks debate on age gap, double standards in dating Jalen Green. Phew, social media is lit over this one because when the age gap flips, suddenly everybody's got something to say. Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like and subscribe button, and if you're ready for deeper conversations and interactive activities that help you level up your dating standards, join my exclusive coffee community.
I'm gonna say it because I don't think nobody's saying it, but girl, you is too old for that child.
Happy birthday to you.
Now, if you guys didn't know, Jalen Green is actually celebrating his 23rd birthday. Now, the reason why he's in the spotlight is because you guys know that him and Draya Michele had gotten together a couple of years ago when I think he was around 21, 22 years old, and then they fathered and mothered a child together. Now, mind you, Draya Michele is in her 40s, but let me check. Yeah, she's 40 years old. And so the controversy behind them is like, child, why are you with this young child? And again, more controversy came out when people found out that Jalen Green, as well as her oldest son, are approximately the same age. Now, I'm not trying to get on here talking about age gaps or nothing, because that's y'all business. But every time a story about those two pop up on my feed or in the news cycle, I'm always just like, I just there's something about her nature in and around him that's just always seemed, ugh. Then I found out she was an Aquarius, and I was like, you know what? Let me mind my business.
Draya and Jalen. It's not funny. It's not funny. She said, I've had my driver's license your whole life. Girl, do you hear yourself? I think one of the cards asked, what would you name your reality TV show? Or the season of your reality TV show. And they said Bridging the Gap. She looked at the camera like, the age gap. Yes, Draya, we know. We've been trying to tell you. That's weird. The comment said she talked to him like he's a kid because he is. It is very much getting creepy. I don't. And then I think one of the first questions was who slid into whose DMs, and they clarified that he slid into her DMs. But like, you're in your 40s, sweets. You're supposed to say, little boy, there's nothing you can do for me. Like, what? Hey, I think it's weird.
I'm going to see if Jalen can answer some questions about the 99 and the 2000s. What group was Beyonce in before going solo?
Oh, I feel like I should know this.
You better know this. Come on. What was the group
Is
called?
it an animal?
No, her group name of the girls. The girls. I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna work hard.
What is it called? What is it called?
Oh my God, Destiny's Child.
Destiny's. I have a shirt that says Destiny.
You do.
I'm tripping.
You do.
I need that.
What movie did the famous quote "Bye Felicia" come from?
Bye, Felicia. Friday.
Oh, thank God.
I've had a driver's license, like, your whole life.
I don't care.
The fact that they are together and she's had a driver's license longer
than he's been alive
is crazy. If y'all don't recognize those two lovebirds, that's Draya Michele, who's 40 years old, dating her NBA point guard boyfriend Jalen Green, who's 23 years old. In the clip, they were doing a couples tag, and one of the questions was, who's the better driver? And she's like, well, I think I'm the better driver because my driver's license says it all. I've had a driver's license longer than you were alive, and the realization kicked in. And what makes matters worse is she has a son that is the same age as him. The longevity has not only worked its way to players like LeBron, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, it's also worked its way to the bops. We got Kim Kardashian, we got Amber Rose, we got Bernice Burgos, we got Draya Michele. These are 20-year veterans in the game. They have been with generations of NBA players. When Draya Michele first got her driver's license, Jalen Green wasn't born. The fact that he didn't see the writing on the wall and still got her pregnant is crazy. These NBA players, all you need is a beautiful face and a BBL and they on you like white on rice. I don't want to be that guy, but if the roles were reversed and it was some super old dude with a real young chick, there would be think pieces on TikTok every single day. They would get national news coverage. They would not see
a day of peace.
But since it is a woman, people would kind of give their thoughts and then just move on.
What do you have to say to a lot of people that have anything negative to say about you guys' relationship?
We try to stay off the internet and not really listen to that kind of stuff.
We also don't care.
You also don't care. Okay, so for you, you don't care. Okay. You just try not to listen to it.
Yeah, we block it out and we mind our business.
No, I mean, you look amazing. You look like you guys are practically the same age. So is it shocking to you that people have a problem with the age gap, being that you look amazing?
No, I mean, I don't know what people's problem is. Two adults being in love, I don't know why that would rub people the wrong way. It's kind of weird. Love is love at the end of the day.
Yeah, she's a weirdo. Boots to the nth. That bitch is weird. OD. Needs to be in jail. Weird. It would be less weird. It's gonna be weird, period, right? You're 39, he's 22. That's very strange. He's 22 today. And you've known him for at least a year. So you was dating a 21-year-old. Weird. I'm not even 29. And when I speak to people who are under 25, I'm like, oh, adorable. So imagine me being 10 more years older than what I am right now and fucking on a 21-year-old getting pregnant. That's in here. Something's not. It would be a hair less weird if her child wasn't the same age as him. You fucking on your, like, that's like fucking on your son friend. Yeah. And to the people who are like, oh, get the bag, Draya, get the bag. She's had 20 years to get a fucking bag. It's giving the money was running out. I feel like there's plenty of way more successful athletes with way bigger bags than him. It's a $40 million bag, a massive bag. Gigantic. There are football players, baseball players with no name at all signing for 2, 3, 4 times the size of that bag who are closer to your age. And then people are like, well, men do it all the time. And it's weird when they do it. At least, I think what makes it extra weird is it just gives I'm poor. Like, something about that gives, like, I have to do this. Like, getting pregnant, running around the city gallivanting, weird, but whatever. Getting pregnant, having a baby, and then announcing it on National Women's Day. She did that. I'm just letting y'all know she did that so people wouldn't attack her. Too late. We don't give a fuck, babe. I waited till the day after. I think to have a baby with a 22-year-old has an air of desperation to it that I have not seen in so long. And that is what's disturbing me, is that she has, like, I really feel like she trapped this boy. And I next to never feel like that. But, like, he's not, boys are already dumb, you know what I mean? But he's, like, not, his brain is not fully developed. And you have altered the course of his life so you can have some security. Working's not that bad. It's not that bad. He doesn't have the capacity to make, of course he wants to fuck his dream girl, the bitch he been looking at on Instagram since he was 9 years old. Of course. But was you supposed to go do that? There's so many other actors. I'm really disturbed and disgusted.
Let's jump into my favorite part of all of the content I post on YouTube. And that's just my thoughts, where I get to kind of express what I feel about whatever we have read or gone over. So let's get into it. This situation is honestly something that has forced a lot of people to look at their own double standards because let's get this straight. Draya was 39 years old when she got pregnant and I believe had a baby by Draya Michele, the industry, IG model, I guess you would call her, beauty, has been with many different celebrities. And she was 39 years old when she got pregnant, had a child by the NBA star Jalen Green. I believe he plays point guard. And so they were, procreating at those ages, which means she met him when he was even younger. There's a 17-year age gap that exists between them, and that is very problematic. And if the clips that I have of women, they're definitely saying this is very problematic. It's disgusting. That's not okay. Made even worse by the fact that she has a son that is close to Jalen Green's age. Now, where the point that I really always have to just, look sideways are the men in the media who are chirping and saying the same thing about, oh, she nasty, this is disgusting, rah, rah, rah. These are the same men who don't say anything to their homeboys when they're 37, 38, trying to date 22-year-old women. These are the same men who are not calling out somebody like Shannon Sharp for dealing with a 19-year-old. They're more so have something bad to say to Shannon Sharp because of the way that young lady took his money, not because that whole situation was nasty to begin with, and that age gap is ridiculous, and the power dynamics of such are very problematic. Now, I will say I do not agree with anything that Draya has done to form this relationship. I think it is extremely predatory. The one caveat that I see here that is a little different than men who get in these situations is there is an equalizer of power. Their age gap, and Draya being 17 years older, gives Draya the advantage in the power dynamic. However, Jalen being the one with the millions of dollars, the man who he has the one with the money. Money is an equalizer, okay? It doesn't completely equalize the power dynamic because Draya's lived longer. She got more wisdom and all the things. She even said in the video, she's had a driver's license longer than that little boy longer than that young man has been alive. But the point is, he has the power in terms of the money, right? Usually, if the situation was reversed, it would be an older man who also has money dating a very young lady, okay, a barely legal young lady. And this dynamic is a little different. So the fact that Jalen is the one with the money and Draya is the one with the wisdom, the gap does shrink. The age gap itself doesn't shrink, but that power dynamic is softened. To what extent, we don't know. That's for them to figure out and determine. But she doesn't hold all the cards here. So I think the men who have something to say against the situation, I think most of them are hypocrites, especially the black men, because they have no problem with their friends or favorite celebrities or even themselves dating with such, power dynamics in mind, and they're way older than a partner and they're taking advantage of them. They're speaking out just because they don't like that a woman is doing it. But they're totally okay with their friends doing it. But all in all, I think this is problematic. I think that is going to cause a lot of, I feel for the child in this situation because yes, I think that the child will be taken care of because I think the money's there for that to happen. But I think this power dynamic and Draya's motives for putting herself in this position, because at 39, let's be real, 38, 39, you know how not to get pregnant, especially when you have children of your own. So she knew exactly what she was doing. And because she was, I believe looking for someone to be there, a long-term monetary investment, willingly or unwillingly, in her lifestyle and future. And I think that's what she got. Not the way that many women would have gone about it, but this is the way she went about it. But weigh in, let me know your thoughts on this. And if you would ever if you have dated someone who has been quite a bit younger than you, how big was the age gap? And what did you see as the pros and cons of that? Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Response and React. Draya Michele sparks debate on age gap, double standards in dating Jalen Green. This situation has everybody talking, but the bigger takeaway is how double standards shape the way we view love, relationships, and even what's considered acceptable in dating. If you enjoyed today's breakdown, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I love hearing your thoughts on these conversations. And if you're ready to move beyond headlines and actually apply these lessons in your own dating life, join my exclusive coffee community. Inside, you'll get access to thoughtful questions, journal prompts, and interactive activities that help you recognize patterns, raise your standards, and date more intentionally. It's the coaching you need to avoid struggle love and step into the relationships you truly deserve. Of course, if you want one-on-one personalized coaching, those links are down below as well. Until next time, this is your relationship coach, Jay Nell. I'll see you in the next episode.